Well, I am privileged to be here tonight. I know some of you. Many of you I don't. But we appreciate being here. Mike, I met up with him at, I believe it was Lowe's a few weeks ago. And we just talked a little bit about maybe coming over and arranged it so that we can come. We have a PowerPoint that we want to show tonight, and we'll work on that. But we work in Panama. I've been working in Panama for 35 years, and I started going there with the U.S. military many years ago, and actually in 1984. And so we have established quite a few churches down there, but mainly, if do you have a clicker that I can borrow? Clicker to click things through? Okay. But we, when I started going with the U.S. military in 1984, I just kind of fell in love with the people. Thank you. I worked in the city. In fact, there was someone here tonight said they had known people that went to the church there in the city. But the Balboa Church was the English-speaking church. And I worked there a number of years, and so later I had some preachers ask me if I would look at another area, and that happened to be the Darien province. There are 9 provinces in Panama. The Darien is located right on the Colombian border. And I'm going to show you, and I'll try to rush through it kind of quickly, to show you some things. And I believe very adamantly that the Lord works similar to the way that we're doing it. If you want to be good in something, follow someone that's been a success. The Lord was a success. And he went about performing miracles, helping people, and teaching the lost. And in Matthew chapter 9, Matthew chapter 15, and others, but this one we'll use for tonight, that Jesus went about in all the cities and the villages, teaching in their synagogues, preaching the gospel of the kingdom, and healing every sickness and every disease among the people. When he saw the multitudes, he was moved with compassion for them, because they were weary and scattered like sheep, having no shepherd. Then he said to his disciples, the harvest truly is plentiful, but the laborers are few. Therefore pray the Lord of the harvest to send out laborers into his harvest. And so we have been, we set up a way that we felt like that we could reach the most people, and not just going down and just start preaching away, but following an example of Jesus. And so we built a clinic in the Darien province. We started doing medical work in 1997. The problem down there is not very much medicine, and especially in this area. It's the Darien province, or there are the Kuna Indian, the Imbara, Wonan, and Panamanians. This is in Sansón. Sansón is kind of a base of where we are, and this is the church there. We have a very strong church in Sansón. We also have other churches throughout the area that we participate with, that we help and support. Iglesia de Cristo, Edificio de la Esperanza, means a building of hope. We want everybody, we know that through Jesus Christ we have hope. Without Jesus there is no hope. And so we built this building, and we named it the Building of Hope. That when people come there for medical help, then they will be able, they have hope for a better day. And also, of course, we want them to know about the gospel, the good news of Jesus Christ. This is our building. It's a very good facility. We have medical teams here every year, and at least sometimes twice a year. We have medical teams in other areas as well. And, of course, with that, we have campaigns, gospel campaigns, where we have a number of people, and I want to show you some in a moment, that have obeyed the gospel, and the church is very strong. We built a nice dental clinic. People don't have very good dental services there. Matter of fact, one dentist there, he can see 7 patients a day. We supply him oftentimes, or the dentist in the area, with Novocaine and things of that nature. But we had this young lady attends the Delrado Church and works in Millbrook as a hygienist. She's going again in June with us, and just fantastic, helping and cleaning the teeth. Everybody wants their teeth clean. We've done over 4,000 cataract surgeries. How many have had cataract surgery? And I have had both my eyes operated on. We do it a little different than what you have here. They put me in La La Land, but down there we have to do an eye block, which is an injection into the eye. And the crowds, we usually have about 2,000 people show up for 150 to 200 slots. And we have so many blind people. And this is one of our preachers that actually has gone blind with glaucoma. And we check the eye and find out what kind of lens they need. And our surgeons, we have usually 4 surgeons, and coming in from Colorado and Nebraska and San Antonio, and operating all day long. And we have 3 surgeons in one room, and these are the people the next morning that'll wait and see if their surgery was a success. You can't imagine some of the in-depth blindness of people. Blind for one man that my wife had helped take care of, been blind for 16 years. And we operated on him, a very successful surgery. And there's always joy at the results. This little lady right here had surgery, and she was very excited about her success. This young man was totally blind, 39 years old, fisherman. You look at his eyes and see the whites of his eyes, and that's his cataracts. And 39 years old, we operated on a 10-year-old girl who was blind with cataracts as well. And we operated on both of his eyes, one day, skipped a day, and then the other. Very successful surgery. And he was very happy. His Bible study opened the door for us to be able to teach the gospel to people. And people always, this was another gentleman that came in that was very blind. Couldn't even see light. And he was operated on, and it's just, I say money doesn't buy that. 18-year-old came in. My wife and I had purchased some eyeglasses in Panama City, and she had eye surgery, and she had an injury to her eye, so we were not sure about the success of the surgery. And of course, general medicine, hundreds of people come in. We bring all the medicine in from the States. Cooking the tea is in the mountains. And one of our big deal, and I wanted to show the video tonight, but I don't think we'd have enough time, about a 5-minute video. But big problem around the world is bad water. And one of our doctors said people can't get well because they keep drinking bad water. And the water is very bad. So we came up with with Healing Hands International, working with them, some water filters, which is not very expensive. It will purify 1 million gallons of water according to the company. Works fantastic. I drink the water right out of the river after we purify it. Have never gotten sick yet. All you have to have is a 5-gallon bucket and the filter, hook it up, and it works on static flow. It's great system. And our way of getting in and out of the mountains is 4x4. I'll show you in a minute by boat as well. And my wife's favorite way to travel is by the boat. She is scared of the boat, but it's the way we get around down there. Now, this is in the up rivers where we go, and on the Chuquinanque River. We travel by Payuca, which is a sort of a hewn out log, and it works really well. And we go down the rivers and to the outlying villages, and we have had great success in the villages. Some of my favorite work is done upriver. And we set up a medical clinic in the schools, and our young nurse practitioner here takes care of them, and nurses take care of the people. And we, again, do the clean water. Everywhere we go, we take water filters. And they line up, and we never have enough filters. We did ship a bunch on the container, which will arrive in Panama at the end of next week. Now, this is the Darien province. If you look at the arrows that I put there, that's the different locations, but over where it says La Palma, which is on the left, your left there, is we catch a boat there. We'll go all the way around the water and come out on the other side and down this river, and we come to a place called Sambu. That's very deep in the interior. I have a very strong church there. Church is supported by a church out of Jackson, Tennessee. And it's very strong. And this is the water that we purify. And they were drinking this water. You can see it's not very good stuff. And one on the right we purified. One on the left has yet to be purified. Just to show you the color of the water. And we usually run out of filters. And they line up, and we take care of their needs as best we can. We give them a class on how to take care of the filters. Very simple project to clean the filter. And we always say $40 brings clean water to a family, changes their life because their health will increase 100-fold. The price of a night out. Your family of 4 will bring clean water to a family. And of course we have our meetings, our gospel, our devotionals, and preparing to go out wherever we go. I had planted Apollos water, but God gave the increase, and that's what we go for. And that's what you support missionaries in Ukraine and other locations, is to teach people the gospel of Jesus Christ. I want to tell you just a little about our new brother here. I have some newsletters out on the back there. You can read his story. But Ramos, he's 85 years old. He's a Pentecostal preacher, Church of the Foursquare. And he was converted by our local preacher that we support. And he said, I've never heard the gospel like this. I visited with him, had a great visit. He said, ours is all about emotion. And he was glad that he and his son both were baptized into Christ. He wants to learn how to preach the gospel. The good thing is that the church building, he owned the church building of the Foursquare, which was on his property. And now the Church of Christ is meeting, the new church is meeting in that building. This little lady here, 85 years old, she's had 14 children. She told me, she says, women at this day and time are weak. She said, I delivered my own children, all 14 of them. And so we talked to her about going to church, and she won't leave home. And she said, I would like to know more about the Bible, but you'll have to come to me. She does not leave this place where she lives. However, her daughter right here lives very close, and the preacher said all she needs is a little more push. She's so close to obeying the gospel, and we're hoping that when we arrive next week that we will learn of her obedience. If not, we will have a study with her as well. And just one after another, it's an opportunity. This is a young policeman, a policewoman that we work with the police of the area, the Center Front, the border police, and she obeyed the gospel. Had another young lady, a policeman, obeyed the gospel, and there are some others that are being studied with. So we're very, very happy with the work among the police. And this was in one of our campaigns, actually. This is one of our, in Kuna village, Indian village, where I had the privilege of baptizing one of the young ladies there. It's always wonderful. We had a Bible study with this young lady. She was baptized. These 4 young ladies, I had the privilege of baptizing them on one of our trips. This was one of our cataract surgery that this lady was baptized a couple of years ago. And matter of fact, Yadi is here with us tonight. I'll tell you about her in a minute. But this young lady was her first translation. She translated for me, and this young lady obeyed the gospel. And we were so happy for that. Have a scholarship program. School systems are not as good as ours, as you might know. This is Yadi. She's sitting right here. She graduated from Prattville Christian Academy. She now attends Freed-Hardeman University. And we are excited about her future. She is wanting to be a nurse. Yadi, stand up so everybody can kind of see you. She is Mbara. I met Yadi when she was 8 days old in her village, and over the years we just got closer and closer with her and her family, and I'd always go back and visit and always give her something and take her some money or something, and we got very close, and she came to visit when she was 12, and then we were able to get her in school, and so we were real proud of that. This young lady is on our scholarship program. Latest lives in the area of Sansone and is in her final year in college. And we're very happy for this young lady as well. Naylis came to the United States. We brought her up. She went to school at AUM to learn English. She was fluent in English, went back, and now she teaches English in her community. And she was hired by the school system to teach English. Operation Christmas Joy. I think y'all have been participating in this program for a number of years. And we do appreciate that and appreciate y'all making the Christmas gift. Our container is on its way. It's supposed to arrive in Panama on the 30th of November and delivered to us on the 5th of December. I depart with some others on the 3rd, which will be next Monday, and arrive in Panama to distribute all the Christmas gifts and other things that we have on the container. And we always load the container. It's full. We don't waste any room. It's packed. And we have about 7,000 Christmas gifts on the container, along with medical supplies and other things that needed for our work in the clinic area. And so what we do with your gifts, and is we have different schools, different communities that we go about, and this was a school, a kindergarten class, and we go and we give out the gifts, or some of them we do stockings and gift bags. We go upriver, we normally take stockings and gift bags because of the room. And this is stockings. I think we have somewhere around close to 2,000 stuffed animals. They love the stuffed animals, and we give them to everywhere we go. And this little guy was trying to figure out who I was, I think. But Gringo had come into his community. But they are so happy, y'all. You can't even imagine when the children come out, and everybody gets a Bible, and everybody gets information about the church. They get information where all the churches are in Panama is on that tract that we put in every single gift. And so we do have and have received calls and so forth. And this is a local hospital. Betsy made over 300 hospital bags. And this year we made about 230. Each mother gets a hospital bag, or each woman that's in the hospital. It's got hygiene items in it and things that they might need while they're in the hospital. And this is this is an Mbada community. Matter of fact, this is the community where Yadi was born. And it's out of Peru. And we go to the school, and that's where we begin giving out the Christmas gifts. We always have enough because we try to arrange it where we don't have an influx of so many kids that we cannot take care of them. Now, we're going upriver here, and this happened to be our boat on this particular day. It was one of the worst boats that have ever pulled up in. It leaked. The whole front of the boat was gone. But we got in the boat, and one of the young ladies started dipping water very quickly, and we took turns dipping the water. However, it wasn't a long trip upriver. And this is the river. Chuquinaki River is the longest river in Panama. And here it's full because December is a lot of rain in Panama usually. A place called La Blancas, Mbada Indian community. And we have so much fun seeing the children get your gifts. And this is back at our clinic, and the ladies had prepared, did a lot of work. And they made this rice, served every single child that had come. Close to 700 came, and they fed them all a meal. This is in the children's hospital. And we go to a number of hospitals. We've actually restricted it now to the children's hospital in Panama City. And it's really heart-rendering because children are so sick, and they don't get exactly the good care that we give them here. And I just put a bunch of them here to show the gifts and so forth. Smile says it all. And we have a backpack program where we give out a lot of backpacks for the schools. This is one of the churches that we work with. This is a place called Wakuku. We had chaos in this particular area. And here are the gifts stacked up and ready to go. And these two little guys sit in Santa's lap, and we had a good time. But some of them don't know who you are, and so you have to. This is back in the children's hospital here. The little guy was injured in a car wreck. This is in the cancer center. The cancer center is a place where all the children are undergoing some type of cancer treatment, and a lot of them won't be here next year. And last year we went in, and there's a big party there for them. And some of them are undergoing bone marrow transplants, and they stay at this facility while they're in Panama City. And people ask me, if I actually asked if people get paid, I say, this is my pay. This is our pay right here. It's a joy. That's why we call it that. And our overseeing congregation is the Salem Church, where I preach, and I appreciate you letting me come. I've been wanting to come for a long time. Steve called me a number of years ago. I was on my way to Panama about coming and speaking at something y'all were having, and I wasn't able to come, but I told him hopefully one day I would. And I appreciate Mike working it out so that we could come. I had an opportunity. People said, why don't you write a book about it? And so I did. And it's entitled To Change a Life. And if you want to do something, when you help somebody else, your life is changed. You get more back than you will ever give. And so I wrote the book on the story of the Good Samaritan. And it has the stories, has Yachty's story in here, as well as a number of other people that have been touched. It has the stories of doctors and nurses who wrote about what it meant to them to be able to give back to those who were hurting. And so we do have some of those. I'm not trying to give a commercial here, but we do have some. And a number of years ago, we had a son that was bipolar and committed suicide, and so I wrote a book about undiagnosed. And I've had calls from all over the United States and UK and India, people that are wrestling with mental illness. And I tell you, families who have someone mental illness in their family need to be loved. The church needs to surround them and love them and let them know how much they are loved, because it's not something to be ashamed of, but rather something where you need prayers of each one. So we just wrote the book about what it's like living with someone who is mentally ill. I've got a couple of minutes. If anybody has a question, I'd be glad to answer a question if you have a question.
How many congregations are there in Panama at this time?
In Panama itself, well, we work with 16, but there are many more. There are at least that many in the city, in Panama City. There are several in an area called Santiago and David. Over on San Blas Island, I think the church in Valdosta, they work on San Blas Island in that area with those, and they also work in a place called Bocas de Toro, which is at the other end of the country. And so they're actually all over. The Church of Christ actually is pretty strong. It really is. And we're fortunate that some of the churches that we support, matter of fact, where Yachty went, Platanilla, we've just helped them build them a new building, and that church was established in 1997 when we had a medical team. We've had 3 congregations established because of the medical teams, and which has been a great thing. The one grew from 5 people who were baptized on one of the medical teams to 50 some odd people, and it's grown to that. That's a great question, and we are, like say in the city, there are some fairly large congregations in the city, absolutely. One other thing about our clinic, we have, and I didn't put this in there, don't have, ladies, you go for your pap test and so forth, and they don't get that. We started doing that about 4 years ago, and they've already found some that did test positive for cancer. One lady did have cancer, and we were able to get her help. And so we do that now every February. And we're planning on that for this next February. We've got 2 teams for February, another one in June that we're working on right now. It's a joy being here tonight. I appreciate so much you let me come. And so I'll turn it back over, because I know Mike said that y'all had other things to do after worship tonight. So I'll turn it back over to whoever is in charge. And if you have any questions after it's over, I'll be glad to answer the questions.